Hi, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Patricia Coughlin. I'm a clinical psychologist with over 40 years of experience. So I've been practicing and teaching, training other mental health professionals, writing books, and in any way I can, trying to contribute to the field. And in particular, to help therapists become much better at what they do. I was hoping when I started this channel to, again, freely share my knowledge and skill and experience, and also to expand the ranks of the super shrinks, those who are, consistently better than the rest. So, what are the qualities of these folks? Number one is they are lifelong learners. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. Even though practicing specific skills can be helpful, the research is quite clear that those who really function at the highest level, the top 20%, have superior meta cognitive skills and deep domain specific knowledge. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. You really becoming a fountain of information, understanding very deeply the theoretical underpinnings of dynamic psychotherapy. I specifically focus on intensive short-term dynamic psychotherapy, but this is true for anybody who is working to get to the unconscious source of the patient's symptoms and suffering. So, trying to learn techniques without a solid grounding in theory is like being a surgeon, right? You can really train yourself to have those specific skills. A good friend of mine who's a surgeon says, really, I'm just a mechanic. But just like a mechanic who has to understand the underlying mechanisms that make an automobile operate, a surgeon has to understand, the circulatory system, all other kinds of things in addition to the technical skill. And that's certainly true of us. So I'm really concerned about this because so many of my trainees did not get a solid theoretical foundation in their schooling. I've been around for a long time. So when I was first in graduate school in the late 70s, 95% of the folks in private practice had an MD or a PhD, right? So they had lots and lots of years of schooling and some depth of understanding about theory. But most therapists now only have a 2-year degree, and they don't get the theoretical grounding they need to really be able to excel at their work. And so I want to encourage you to take this upon yourself if you really want to be the best you can be and not just be satisfied with average results. You're going to have to dive into the literature. And I would certainly recommend starting with Freud, who was a wonderful writer. I mean, his books are really great. So start with the introductory lectures, the psychopathology of everyday life, the interpretation of dreams. These are classics. Then you could read people like Otto Fenichel. His classic text on psychoanalysis really was Davenlou's Bible. You've got Alexander in French, just a remarkable book on psychodynamic psychotherapy from 1946. This was an outgrowth of their research at the Chicago Institute, examining the question of whether deep and lasting change could take place in a brief amount of time. And in fact, they found it could. So that's an absolute must for anybody doing short-term dynamic psychotherapy. I could go on and on, with the books that I would recommend, but rather than just telling you, I'm going to attach my reading list to this video. And I encourage you to start reading and then to follow your interests. Maybe it's object relations and you really want to dive into Mitchell and Greenberg or whatever it might be. And so I'm also interested in the books you have found particularly helpful. And let's start a discussion about this. So thank you for listening and welcome to my channel. Bye bye.